Hey guys, you're listening to Forensic Geek Radio. I'm your host, Detective Zach Foxen, and it's February 14th, which means it's Valentine's Day, a day of love, but a day of history of massacres and Roman orgies, actually. Let's get the show started. In the growing age of digital forensics, there is no bigger hurdle, it seems, within investigations than those of encrypted cell phones. Some of the most probing and useful information in a criminal case can come from the digital evidence that everyone carries with them every day. In a Senate subcommittee hearing this week, FBI Director Comey spoke on the issues currently facing the investigations and intelligence communities with communications going dark in the 21st century. With Apple and BlackBerry offering some of the toughest products to crack, the most recent issue Director Comey put forth to the intelligence subcommittees is the FBI's inability to access the iPhone of Tasfeen Malik, the female involved in the San Bernardino terrorist plot on December 3rd, in which Malik and her husband killed 14 and injured 21 at the Social Services Center. 2 months after that incident, the Bureau has been halted by Apple's encryptionware on the phone, with Apple stating that the new operating system is so secure that they can't even access it. This comes at a time in the months following Apple's statement to the law enforcement community last year, stating that the new iPhone OS is beyond their ability to crack even with court orders. So, how will investigators keep up with the ever-evolving encryption tech, which is clearly inhibiting investigations? An international forensic panel has condemned the official report released by the Mexican government into the disappearance of 43 students in September of 2014. The Mexican investigation report states that after a widespread investigation, it was alleged that local police had detained the students and then handed them over to a drug cartel that killed them, followed by incinerating their bodies beyond recognition and dumping their remains into a nearby river. However, in the preceding months, an independent panel comprised of forensic experts from Argentina, the United States, Mexico, Uruguay, Colombia, and Canada have disproved and poked holes in the Mexican government's claimed stories. The team of 26 multidisciplinary scientists found that the claims of mass incineration was faulty due to the plant life failing to show evidence of a fire at the alleged location. Further, the recovery of 132 cartridge casings at the site indicate the use of rifles when it was alleged that handguns were used, and that while the remains of 19 decedents were recovered from the site, there was no evidence of the missing students. Once again, it's crime, corruption, and scandal south of the border. But come on, Mexico, you can't fool science. In a unique study released this month in the Journal of Criminology and Public Policy, researchers published their findings on the effects of tasers. And while this would seem nothing new, and Taser itself has a myriad of research on the effects, this study specifically examined the effects that the 50,000 volts has on cognitive functioning of the brain. In a study with a sample size of 140 participants, it was found that there was a short-term effect on the brain comparable to that of dementia. These new findings may present issues within the courts, as the questioning of whether a person is fully understanding the police's questions and Miranda aspects after an exposure, that can cause some serious issues possibly. However, this was only found to be of a short-term effect, with the post-exposure testing being marked at the hour after exposure and then 7 days. I will be curious to see further exploration of this, specifically the occurrence within the cognitive parts of the brain. Researchers at the San Diego Zoo have successfully hatched a near extreme... Let me try that one more time, right? Researchers at the San Diego Zoo have take 3. Once again, we're talking about tree lobsters. Researchers at the San Diego Zoo have successfully hatched a near-extinct breed of tree lobsters. Having received 300 eggs from the Australia's Melbourne Zoo, the San Diego team was able to bring the hatching process to success on February 6 with the hatching of 19 baby tree lobsters. Now, you may be listening to this thinking that I'm crazy talking about tree lobsters, but this species was believed to be extinct until 2001. The tree lobster is actually also known by the name of the Lord Howe Island stick insect and can actually grow to a length of about 7 inches. When these little guys hatched, the nymphs are actually 3 times the size of the egg as they are folded up like origami. So here's to the tree lobster. An Indian man was killed this week by literally the sky falling, specifically being struck by a meteorite. India officials have stated that the meteorite crashed into an engineering college where it killed 1 and injured 3. The space rock, weighing just over 1/3 of an ounce, left a crater reportedly 5 feet deep and 2 feet wide. According to Live Science, this may be the first death by meteorite in recorded history. This follows the announcement by NASA of the formation of a new office, the Planetary Defense Coordination Office, which is dedicated to the tracing and tracking of near-Earth objects such as asteroids and meteorites and advising on the potential impact threats. A century after Einstein's publication of the theory of general relativity, a truly very cool discovery has been announced by the LIGO lab out of Caltech and MIT, and it's the discovery of gravitational waves, which are essentially ripples in the fabric of space and time. The discovery proves the prediction of Einstein's 1915 general theory of relativity and the measurable existence of black holes. In the recorded event, they believe that they actually observed 2 black holes merging together. Now, this is an ambitious goal set out 5 decades ago, and it is just really an exciting time in science. In a statement by the LIGO lab this week, the observation of gravitational waves accomplishes an ambitious goal set out over 5 decades ago to directly detect the evasive and evulsive phenomenon and better understand the universe and, fittingly, fulfill Einstein's legacy on the 100th anniversary of his general theory of relativity. This is beyond exciting and has been called the ushering of a new age of exploration into the warped side of the universe. Well, like I said, it's Valentine's Day, and while lots of people get all warm and cozy, full of chocolate and roses, I can only really think of 2 major events in the history of Valentine's Day. One is the 1929 murder of 7 mob associates and a mechanic by the North Side Irish Gang during the Prohibition era, which was one of the largest mob hits in Prohibition. It has been historically known as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So yeah, that's lovely. And then there's the 3rd century AD history of possibly some of the more loving aspects which Valentine's Day brings, and that's the Romans. See, the Romans would celebrate during this time of February the festival of Lupercalia, which is the fertility festival where men would literally offer up and sacrifice dogs and goats and then whip women with the hides of the animals they had just slaughtered. Then they would have a matchmaking event where men would literally pull a name out of a hat of a woman that they would be paired up for the rest of the festival. So yeah, it's full of Roman orgies and mob hits. So happy Valentine's Day from us here at Forensic Geek. Just to catch you up on a few cool things that we're doing over here at Forensic Geek, we've got a new website that we'll be rolling out within the next few weeks. Like I said, we've got some really cool interviews that we've been doing. Be sure to go to officerinvolved.org. It's a film that is going to be screening this week in Georgia, and we're going to have that director on the show in the next few weeks. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Zach Foxen. And yeah, so that's it for this episode, guys. Sorry it's a short one, but we got lots of cool things going on. So, happy Valentine's Day, and watch out for being whipped with animal hides. I'm Detective Zach Foxen. Keep learning.